Hello everyone, let's jump straight into the heavyweight champion of AI legislation, the EU AI Act. If you look at the formal documentation, the scope is defined as a framework that applies to providers placing AI systems on the market or putting them into service in the Union, regardless of whether those providers are established within the Union or in a third country. In simple terms, this law doesn't care where your office is located, it cares where your AI is working. If your code is used by someone sitting in a cafe in Paris or an office in Berlin, you are on the hook. It's like a no smoking sign that applies to the whole building, even if you are standing just outside the door, blowing smoke through the window. Now that we've covered the geographic reach, let's look at the specific roles people play under this law. Stay with me here because this is where people usually get tripped up. The act identifies providers and deployers. The formal definition of a provider is a natural or legal person, public authority, agency, or other body that develops an AI system with a view to placing it on the market under its own name. In simple terms, the provider is the chef who cooked the AI recipe and put it on the menu. The deployer, on the other hand, is the person using that AI in a professional context, like a bank using an AI tool to decide who gets a loan. You've probably seen this at the office where your company buys a tool from a tech giant. The tech giant is the provider and your company is the deployer. Both have rules to follow, but they aren't the same rules. Um, Understanding who is vital because it determines your specific legal duties. In the legal world, extraterritoriality is often defined as the state of being exempted from local jurisdiction, but in the context of the AI Act, it's the opposite. It's the ability of the law to reach outside its physical borders. Essentially, if the output produced by your AI system is used in the EU, you are covered by this law. Imagine you are a data scientist in Seattle building a resume scanning tool. You don't have an office in Europe, but a recruiter in Madrid uses your tool to filter candidates. In simple terms, you just bought yourself a ticket to EU compliance. It's a bit like a buy one get one deal you never asked for. If your data results land in Europe, the rules follow them there. Even with this broad reach, there are specific areas where the law chooses not to intervene. Every rule has its keep out signs. The book style definition states that the Act shall not apply to AI systems developed or used exclusively for military, defense, or national security purposes, nor to AI components provided under free and open source licenses unless they are high risk. In simple terms, if you are building a Terminator for the military or uh, just tinkering with code in your garage for a pure research project that isn't for sale yet, the EU AI Act generally keeps its hands off you. Uh, it's the difference between a professional kitchen and a home cook experimenting with a new spice. As long as you aren't selling it to the public, the health inspector isn't knocking on your door. However, there is a very specific moment when these rules suddenly turn on. The act officially kicks in at the moment of placing on the market or putting into service. The formal definition of placing on the market is the first making available of an AI system on the union market. In simple terms, the moment you flip the switch from beta to live and let a European user click a button, the clock starts ticking. It's like the difference between practicing your golf swing in your backyard and entering a tournament. In your backyard, nobody cares if you miss, but the moment you step onto the green with a scoreboard, every movement is regulated. You need to be sure your swing is compliant before you ever step onto that European course. Since these rules are so strict, the EU created a specific body to make sure everyone plays fair. The EU has created the office within the European Commission to oversee everything. Think of this as the sheriff in town for the digital frontier. Their job is to ensure that these rules, the scope, the extraterritoriality, and the provider duties are actually being followed across all member states. In simple terms, it's one thing to have a rule book, but it's another thing to have a referee with a whistle and the power to hand out very expensive fines You've probably seen how GDPR changes the way we click accept on websites. The AI Office is designed to do the same thing for every algorithm you interact with.